Simone here with White Diamond Services LLC, and we've got a show for you. So tell me, are you ready? Let's do this! Guys, look at the wall carefully because something completely unplanned is about to reveal itself on the wall. Now tell me, what does this look like? We're with you guys. That's exactly what we think. What can I say? Our contractor, he's an artist. Anyway, let me get down to the business at hand. Today's video is about spray painting the ceiling and the wall and pretty much just getting this living room back to its up and running condition. If you had watched our prior video, you would have recalled that our homeowner's ceiling fell down right as he was about to walk into the living room. So of course we were contracted to do the job, get the ceiling back up and running, and then he decided just to paint the entire area so everything can look nice and new for him. So we are on the ball. Our contractor has started his spray painting, and we're going to walk you through the process. Okay, so the first thing pretty much that we're doing here is that we've started to spray paint the ceiling, and that is the best place to start if you're going to be painting both the ceiling and the walls, because of course the ceiling is going to be the harder area to reach, and of course any residue or anything will be falling from the ceiling onto the ground, and it would also be falling onto the wall. So what we want to do is to get the ceiling out of the way so that any mess that is made from spray painting the ceiling and it gets onto the wall, then that's fine because the wall will be done afterwards. Now, in terms of using the spray painting gun, you want to make sure that you're holding it a few inches away from the area that you are spraying. And you also want to make sure that you are going very lightly because it's easy to have an overspray, and when you have an overspray, then your painting job is not going to look good. So you have to be able to control your hands as you go along. Practice, as they say, makes perfect. So little by little, as you start doing this, then you're definitely going to get the hang of it. And also to make sure that your paint job comes out really good, you also want to make sure that you start close to the edge that you just finished, because you don't want to have a streak or a line in between the new area and the old area. So you pretty much just want to cover just the edge of the area that you just painted and then go over to the other areas so that you will have complete and full coverage. Now, when we get a paint job to do, we love when it's an empty room or the whole house is empty, because in that way you're able to spray paint the area. Usually if the room is occupied or they have a lot of furniture and stuff like that, obstacles in the way, you're not going to be able to spray paint because you need to be able to move around freely inside the room. So if it's a paint job and the unit is not occupied, we are completely happy because then we can just jump in, get our spray painting going, and we know that within an hour or so, depending on how big the job is, we're going to be done with that. And all we have to do now is just to think about the little touch-up portion, which is pretty much just to cut out the ceiling and then to paint the baseboards, the doors, the trims, those little areas. So definitely, if you're thinking about painting and you have a big job, spray painting would be your best bet. If you use a paintbrush or roller, of course, it's going to take a little bit longer, but the spray gun is definitely our go-to. I definitely should have said this at the start of the video, but as they say, better late than never, right? Okay, so the first thing before you even start painting is that you have to cover the areas that you do not want to get painted, okay? And also, if you're using different color paints, you also want to cover the areas that are being painted in a different color, and those are usually like the trims, like for the baseboards, the doors, the window trims. Those are the areas that you pretty much want to get covered. So as you can see here, we put a piece of plastic over the door so that that can have full coverage. We are not painting the door, and the door also has glass. Then there's also a fireplace here, which we also put a little bit of plastic over that as well because we want to cover it. And of course, when you cover, the less cleanup you're going to have at the end of the job. And as you can also see that we did put plastic and paper over the floor as well. So that definitely will protect our clients' underlying floor there. And once we come in with our material and our supplies and all that stuff, then we know that everything is protected and we can move freely to get the job done. Of course, here, this is Ezekiel, one of our best employees, and he's here struggling to get this paint open. I don't know what happened today, but there definitely was an issue. We mocked him and jeered at him, but he finally got it open, and we were able to continue with the job. This was so funny. Go Izzy, we love you just the same. So here he just finished pouring out the paint into the other paint can because that's the one that we're using with the paint machine. And even though he has little spills and little residue on the cover of the paint can, as you can see, well, not the cover, but the can itself, the top of it, he's wiping it off because we still don't want to make a mess. Painting is a wet job, so you can easily mess things up. If it falls on the floor, you just step on it, you're walking all over, things happen, and we don't want to track any excess paint anywhere in our homeowner's home. So we always want to be careful about that and just to clean up as we go along. Now, the major part of our spray painting job is done, and pretty much we are left with now just cutting the ceiling, and also we have to paint the window frame, the door frames, and the baseboards. Now, as you can see, our contractor is using a shield and he's spray painting the ceiling. And the shield pretty much is to help guide him so that when he's spraying the wall closest to the ceiling, then the ceiling will not get messed up all over again. And he started with that one little area and already it's looking good to me. So we are pretty much just going to continue and go all the way around the ceiling and get it done right. Now, you may have also noticed that the wall itself has some dark areas on it, and that's because the wall was just painted, so it still needs a little bit of time to dry. And of course, once it dries, if there are areas we see that looks as if it needs another coat of paint, then definitely we will get that done, because once we are on a job and we said we are done, we have to make sure that the house looks good and that our homeowner is pleased. So here our contractor is continuing to cut the ceiling, but in addition to that, our other guys are now painting the baseboards, the door trims, the window trims, and the trims over the fireplace so that we can get everything going. And it is looking good so far, if I myself may say so. We are almost there, guys. We are almost there. So in order for us to get to the trims, of course, we had to remove all the plastics and everything from off the door. And then we also went ahead and put the tape so that once we painted the trims, then we could have a nice clean surface and clear lines going all the way down. Everything about painting has to do with your execution. So if you do a sloppy job, the outcome is going to be sloppy. But if you spend your time and do it right by using the tools that were provided for you to use for painting, then you're going to have a good paint job. So definitely you need to have your painter's tape in the event that you are painting, especially the trims, because you need to have that nice clean line. But guys, look at it. This is our finished product. The room is done. So now, of course, our homeowner is going to come in and walk around and take a look. And once our homeowner is pleased, then we are going to be pleased too. Now, the other thing I wanted you to notice is that the carpet is also removed from the floor at our homeowner's request. So I think what they want to do right now is either they're going to resurface the floor, or I think our homeowner is leaning more towards, yes, she wants to clean up the floor and to leave the hardwood as is. I guess at this time, the less of an expense that she has, then the better for her. So she's going to go with the cleanup and see what that looks like. And I guess from there, make the decision if she does need to refinish. But we also noticed that there were some dark spots on the floor. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But guys, our homeowner is happy with the work and she has already referred us to 2 of her neighbors. So guys, that's how we do it. White Diamond Services, LLC. And guys, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button because I know you are not going to want to miss the rest of our videos. Thank you guys.